everyone, and welcome back to the Content Mix. I'm Carlota Pico, your host for today's show, and I'm excited to introduce Anna Kadric, who's Global Head of Content, Channels, and Media at Nordea. Welcome, Anna, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Content Mix.
I'm really glad to be here, Carlota. Thank you for inviting me.
The pleasure is ours, Anna. Okay, Anna, could you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you get to where you are today?
That's a very interesting story. Obviously, social media wasn't with us when I started working. My background is in communications and marketing. Marcom has always been very close to my heart. And when social media making some strides in society, I felt that this was a very exciting opportunity to look for talent, for example. That was the first thing that we started investigating, how to attract more people, more talented people to the organizations that I was working for. And then it has evolved into providing the right content for the right audiences, attracting people to actually understand what the companies are all about. And since then, I have been very fortunate to take over the role of in-house agency head for a company like Nordea. So it feels very exciting that we are on the cutting edge of developing content that millions of people see every day from their financial partner that Nordea is.
Okay, how exciting. Could you give us a little bit more information about Nordea? A 30-second elevator pitch?
Absolutely. Nordea is a company that obviously it's a financial institution, is a bank. We are a leading universal bank, and that means that we are a bank for everyone. So starting from someone who would have only a salary account all the way to large companies and institutions. So corporates all the way to B2C people who are having just a salary account. And we have been doing that for over 200 years. So obviously making sure that our customers realize their dreams and aspirations. That's our goal, helping people fulfill their dreams. And I think that has resonated very well with the audiences throughout the Nordic. Our core countries are Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Finland.
Okay, what a beautiful goal to have. Okay, you mentioned being responsible for an in-house agency at Nordea. What is that? What's that look like?
An in-house agency, obviously, we are staying true to what Nordea wants to achieve. We are working very closely with our business areas, but adding a branding kind of code over it, making sure that we are developing campaigns that make our content resonate with the audiences and obviously be recognizable as content that is coming from Nordea. We strive to be a trusted partner for our audiences. So they can refer back to us when they want advice on their financial goals. And the content, channels, and media, that's the team that basically makes it happen. We have got channels and media managers that manage our social media flow, that stay on top of what we are sharing in our branches, for example, on the screens. As well as having graphic designers, videographer, UX experts, all of that combined created that fantastic team that I've got the privilege of managing.
Wow, excellent. I was on your LinkedIn profile, Anna, snooping around to get to know a little bit about you before interview. And I'm actually going to read a line off of your LinkedIn profile that really caught my attention. Start quote. The most successful companies make sure that their brand is a skeleton supporting the core values of every single employee and partner. End quote. Could you elaborate more on that thought, please?
Absolutely. I think that the branding is something that you strive to achieve, but the brand itself will never be authentic if the brand is something that is kind of bolt on over what you are doing, what you are trying to achieve. The brand is what people are saying about you when you're not in the room. So the opinions that people are expressing about you, and if that is something that you are investing in fostering in the organization, that is a huge benefit to the company, because then the employees are living that brand. For Nordea, the representation of that is our purpose and values. And in that respect, that's something that we are working actively on every single day with our signature practices, for example, in internal meetings. When we are talking about the benefits for the customers, just making sure that this is not something that would happen by accident. We actively work on that, making sure that this lofty promise of fulfilling people's everyday dreams is not actually just an empty slogan. It is something that we are working on every single day, starting from how we are representing in our mobile banking app to the offerings that we are giving to customers on the front end, all the way to the back office functions. How do I help the customers every day?
Okay. What about the impact of COVID-19 though, in terms of content development? Because you want your content to be genuine and you want your content to relate with your audience, but obviously the audience is going through very unstable times. So how have you adapted content in order to resonate better with your different personas?
When Corona happened, we switched gears almost overnight. We stopped almost entirely our marketing campaign. We paused all of them and focused on care messages. That switch was so tremendous on my team. We started developing content, helping our audiences to understand what the implications they have if they are going to be let go from different organizations, from different companies. What are they entitled to? We had a family advisor talking about, do you need to get another mortgage? How do you sell stuff? Everything that we were working on at that time when Corona happened in the springtime was geared towards customer care. We even discussed the visual representation, what that would look like. Our brand is very often represented with a pulse. It's a very nice visual representation of basically a Nordea heartbeat, but we felt that for the care messages and talking about Corona, it cannot be mistaken for advertising campaigns. We want to make sure that people understand that we are here to help them out, we are here to care for them, and that's why we decided, even with such a little thing, remove that pulse, remove that visual representation to make sure that people see the distinction between advertising and actually care messages. We listened very much to our customer service agents. We were looking at what is coming not only on social media, on our walls, but also what's coming through the telephones, and then developed content that would answer some of those questions and pain points. The telephone lines were blocked by people really, really scared about the situation, and quite understandably, this is not unique to the Nordic. This is a worldwide pandemic, and it's affecting all of us.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And on that note, how do you rally up people from different teams without a common goal?
We have been very fortunate with having very strong leadership in the countries, switching gears, working towards a common goal. And as those regulations in the countries differ, we took very different approach depending on what the country health authorities are recommending. So in some countries, we closed the branches. In other countries, we decided to keep them open, but encourage the customers to have digital meetings with us. And I think that the share of our digital meetings has increased so significantly throughout the springtime because we were making sure that people understand that they can get help even if they are not coming to our branches, that we are here for the customers and trying to resolve their pain points as they were happening in real life. Okay. And obviously, it's not easy for any brand.
No, definitely not. Okay, so your common goal was to get higher management, to get your team rallied around the goal of empathizing with their customers, regardless of where they were in terms of markets. And you did that by understanding the cycles that each market was going through. So, for example, in our case, I have guests from all around the world, right? I host guests from all around the world, and people are going through different cycles. If you're based in China, you were probably hit with the corona wave way early in January. And then came Europe, and then came the United States, and then came Latin America, right? So people were going through different cycles.
Yep.
And your approach was to adapt yourself, and your company to the cycles of your customers.
Absolutely, and learning from other countries. So trying to have some kind of headwind by seeing, okay, this is what's happening. Do we have plan B and C for all of the eventualities that could happen in our countries as well? And I think that has worked so tremendously because we rallied around the common goal to make sure that we have got a plan in place, and that plan then can be put into action quite quickly and adjusted if need be.
Super important to be able to adjust a plan, especially as marketeers, right? Because we're always A/B testing.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna, what about some other challenges that you've had to go through during your career? Not only coronavirus, but I'm sure that you faced a few challenges over the course of time.
I think the challenge that I look most fondly on, even though it wasn't fun at the time, is actually to start social media channels for the company when it wasn't that obvious, it wasn't that popular. We kept getting questions like, "Is social media really here to stay?" And right now, you know the answer, of course, but back in the day, I would say at the beginning of, let's say, 2010, that wasn't a very obvious answer because you had different channels and different companies kind of pop up and then disappear. But we felt very strongly that social media is a very important means to an end, and that end being either recruiting top talent or working towards informing the customers, selling more product, generating more leads, whatever that may be. It is a powerful tool for marketeers to use.
Okay, we're going to have a separate interview about the power of social networks. Stay tuned for more about that soon. Anna, and to finish up this interview, what have been some of your proudest marketing moments to date?
There were quite a few. I think that right now what I am looking at is all the in-house campaign that my team is developing. Right now, we are working on a campaign for the most affluent companies and customers. Obviously, that's a very interesting challenge in itself because you need to find them. You need to identify the people that might be prone to react positively to your messages and explain why we are a good partner for the most affluent customers. I think that the ones that are resonating with me are the campaigns and the concept that we have been developing throughout the time, explaining difficult things in a very easy terms. For example, if I take a pension campaign, we worked with a third party agency on a concept where the campaign was "Winter is Coming," so basically play on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And that actually won us the Cannes Lions Award 2019. And that was very exciting. Even though the campaign was very local, it was Norwegian, we just decided to launch it in other Nordic countries because the languages are not that different. And obviously, it's charming to actually hear someone speaking Norwegian when you're in Sweden or in Denmark. So we definitely took a lot of joy out of working on kind of something that is relevant and in the moment, and everyone knows winter is coming quote, but then bringing it closer to the people and having that emotional connection with something that is notoriously difficult to sell, and that is pension, or saving towards your pension. Everyone knows you need to do it. Everyone knows it's a good idea. And yet very few people do that. They procrastinate, they feel guilty about it. So but by having fun with it, we just removed shame, and obviously had really good results with that for the business.
Okay, what an excellent example. We'll have to link that in our blog post so our audience is able to read more about that campaign.
Yep.
And Anna, to finish up this interview, if you could do anything in this world, would it still be marketing?
I think the marketing gives you the breadth of experience, so you're picking from different areas, and you are in such a collaborative state, because you need to work with the business, you need to work with your partners in communications, you work with a lot of internal stakeholders. So you're basically in the middle of it all. And I think that's what keeps me going. That's what makes me feel passionate about what I'm doing and what my team is doing.
Okay, beautifully put. Anna, thank you so much for joining us on the Content Mix. It was awesome to meet you, to learn about Nordea, and I can't wait to see that Winter is Coming campaign.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And to everybody listening in today, thank you for joining us on the Content Mix. For more perspectives on the content marketing industry in Europe, check out the Content Mix. We'll be releasing interviews just like this one every day, so keep on tuning in. Thanks again. Have a fabulous day, and see you next time. Bye.